All right, Brian Billick, FutureSox.com here. I'm with the new Director of Player Development, Chris Getz. And Chris, I think a lot of Sox fans know you from your playing days, and you just joined the organization in October. But you spent 2 years in Kansas City. What did you learn in those 2 years that qualify you for this job?
Well, I was able to be within an organization that, they went through a build, not necessarily a rebuild, but they really needed a build. So when Dayton Moore went over there in 2006, they had a plan in place. And throughout those years, part of those years I was playing, so I kind of saw what they did as an organization in terms of their drafting and their developing. And slowly but surely, those players started infiltrating at the major league level, and they became teammates of mine. So my career obviously ended there, and then I took the position 2014 as an assistant to player development. Just being around those people, Dayton Moore, J.J. Piccolo, Rene Francisco, getting an understanding from the international stuff, the scouting stuff, the player development stuff, kind of their philosophies. And what I really learned was how important all those departments really are and how well they need to work together. As you acquire these players, you need to be very patient. You need to carry out the vision of the scout. And you can never lose sight of that. There are going to be times where these players struggle. That's part of this whole process. But you need to be very patient. You need to continue to work with them day in and day out, come up with programs that really focus on the individual. I think where you can kind of miss on the player development aspect is when you start treating everyone the same. So now in the role that I am here, I'm excited to get to know these guys. Some of them I'm a little ahead of than others. But with the coaches and the guys that have been there and then the new players that we acquire, we'll sit down, put a plan together, and get going on things.
Right, and you used the word patience, and the Sox have been, in a recent history at least, as aggressive as any team with their prospects. Do you think we're going to see some of that change now when you come aboard here?
It's possible. I think it's obviously been established kind of what we're going through right now, this transitional phase. But the player truly will dictate, how we'll handle him. If we feel that it's time for him to move up a certain level, then he moves up to that level. Because there's certainly no sense in keeping someone at a level that he, I don't want to say dominating, but he's kind of ahead of that level. I mean, he needs to be challenged. He needs to wake up each day with a purpose. So the player will dictate. With that being said, the rush to get to the major leagues, if the major league team is not in a position that we feel to compete, we'll definitely be conscious of that. So that will go into the decision-making process.
And you were kind of touching on at the end, the 2 years you were with the Kansas City Royals, they were the world champions and then the reigning world champions. And the Sox, they're in a different point of contention in their window. Is that going to change the process entirely, or is it just a matter of there's not a need to fill immediate holes on the major league roster with minor leaguers?
Yeah, I mean, it'll go into every decision we make, really. I mean, we're in a window right now. But, like I said, each individual will kind of dictate what we're going to do moving forward. In terms of a plan and when guys are going to go up and down, looking at the Major League club, what we have right now. These are all different ways of kind of looking at the puzzle. We just want it to all kind of come together at the right time.
And the team brought you on in October, and from what I understand, the process was interviewing with Buddy Bell and Rick Hahn. Given the Michigan connection with Rick Hahn, did you have some confidence going in there?
Of course. Michigan alum, they need to look out for other guys now. But I've always had a very good relationship when I was a player, even beyond when I left here, too. I always kept in touch with those guys because I always had great respect for them. Buddy was actually a farm director when I was playing here in the minor leagues. I always got along great with him, looked up to him, and now to be able to work with him on a daily basis, he's got obviously experience wearing a lot of different hats, and just to have him by my side along the way here is going to be great as we develop these players.
All right, that's Chris Getz, the White Sox new Director of Player Development. Thank you for the time, Chris, and you can follow everything we do on Twitter at FutureSox.